Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, a great millstone, blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Hey, real quick, man, this is an article here. They're not talking about this in the news. They're not really covering it. It's kind of media blackout on these type of things, but this is actually from the WashingtonPost.com. It says hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops have not complied with the, what as deadline nears, okay? Which shows you they're getting ready to bring in a foreign military force, okay? And they're gonna have to reinstate a draft because they're not gonna have enough people that don't have it. You see, because people are realizing, like, man, this is a bunch of bullshit, man. They're realizing that they're being played, they're being duped, and that their society is being stripped from them day by day. And people, they're sick of it, man. And this is gonna result to your civil wars and your divisions and, people turning against one another and hatred, etc. This is what's going to cause that part division, which you're seeing happening right now. Okay, so it says overall the military's rate has climbed since August, with Defense Department leaders acting on a directive from President Biden to form the nation's 2.1 million troops that will become, It says exemptions will be rare and those who refuse will be punished. All right, and I heard in some cases that if you don't take it, they can lock your ass up, because they were talking about certain basketball players if they had to go to Canada for a away game and they ain't got the dig, and they can lock your ass up, put you in prison, man, or a quarantine center. Though it may not be mandated in your particular location, but if you go out of state with it, they could do something to you and fine you a lot of money, man. Like the governor of Texas, man, he just outlawed the shit. He said, man, anybody or any employer that's recommending or trying to put this on, people, he says that he's banning that shit. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you like this: Texas gonna have a lot of problems with America, man, coming soon, because you seen what happened to them last year or earlier this year when their power grid went down. Because I believe that Texas have their own pretty much independent supply of energy, so therefore they're trying to succeed from America. So therefore, they're going against the government's order. So Texas is getting ready to get hit with some shit. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna lose federal funding. Okay, they're gonna have a lot of more attacks, a lot of more outages. There's gonna be a lot of funny business going on in Texas. And then once they lose that federal funding, they're gonna have to depend on the state's taxes and the state in order to keep this their state afloat. And I'm gonna tell you like this right now: the states do not have nearly enough money to run a whole society of their own. They just don't. The government, they have that strategically they did that because they wanted these states to be dependent on them so they can keep them under wraps. Okay. So it's finna be some shit in Babylon, man. All right? But it says here, yet truce responses have been scattershot according to the data assessed by the Washington Post. It says, for instance, 90% of the active duty Navy is fully whereas just 72% of the Marine Corps is. And the data shows, even though both services share a November 28th deadline, the Air Force, more than 60,000 personnel, have just 3 weeks to meet the Defense Department's most ambitious deadline. It says the story continues below its advertisement that deaths attributed to have soared in part of the forces as some services struggle to, It says, but in September, more military personnel died of the infection than all 2020. It says none of those who died were fully such and such. That's a fucking lie. That's a goddamn lie. We're not even gonna get into all that, okay? They're playing games with people. And I'm not gonna read all this. This is clearly too long of an article. My attention span is not that great anymore, so I'm definitely not going to read all this, but I will put this into the link's description if you brothers want to read it, because it's not that I won't read it, I'm just not going to read it now. It's too much information, to make a couple points. But y'all see what's happening in the country. The division is here, okay? The NWO is here, we're in it, okay? And it's just going to get worse, because also it says the Great Southwest Rebellion. Okay, Southwest Airlines, I believe they lost a lot of their employees, and they just kind of walked out based on a certain, provisions they had set up for them, So it says here, the incredible cruelty and folly of force such and such finally came home to roost. It says the such and such backlash has been bubbling just under the surface, but now it has spilled out into opening, threatening to comply, derail an already crumbling economy, and to obliterate a deeply unpopular U.S. president and administration. Because I'm going to tell you right now, nobody cares for this guy, man. All you dimming niggas out there, okay? You nigger credits that went down there and put this damn demon in office. Now you sitting up there regretting your goddamn decision, man. When we told your stupid ass that wasn't to benefit you. You know what I'm saying? But what credit do we get? You know, besides scoffing at you people talking shit. So you know what? I'm actually glad that he's doing what he's doing. I'm happy that you people are scrabbling for the butter chips now, man. All right, because the Most High is tired of fucking around with you niggas. All right, we're tired of fucking around with you. You know, all you do is sit back and talk shit. You be Murph 24/7, man. Okay, you don't want to get serious about a goddamn thing. Only thing you do is just sit back and you do just a bunch of bullshit, man. You know, you just waiting on somebody to roll out the red fucking carpet and tell you that everything is gonna be up. Well, we're here to tell you it ain't gonna be okay. Okay, America's getting ready to be fucking destroyed by thermonuclear fire, according to Revelation, the 18th chapter. And Revelation 18 is not talking about no fucking cargo ships on the edge of goddamn California, man. That's not talking about that. Okay? If brothers make reference to the economic woes of Revelation 18, it's talking about after the fact that it's going to be destroyed, man. So anybody that's teaching Revelation, the 18th chapter, is talking about ships and so forth in this particular time before the destruction, you're going off. Okay? That's off, man. You know, I don't know that brother from Arkansas. You know, I'm not going to speak on it too much. Not Arkansas, but Alabama, Salakia. But I'm not going to speak on it too much. But, hey, man, that's the shit that gets you thrown out, man. You know, and you get brothers looked at sideways. You pushing that bullshit doctrine because we never taught that. Okay? Teach what was taught, man, and be done with it. If you don't know something, then don't fucking teach it, man. It's just that simple. But that's what happens when niggas are trying to be too fucking deep. They try to go beyond their measures and they end up dismantling the breakdown that they don't know. I keep it simple, man. I teach on current events, you know? Sure, we could go into the breakdowns and all that stuff, but the apostles already covered that. Fuck you need to worry about it for, man. Anyway, it says here, seemingly out of nowhere, what appears to be a Southwest airline rebellion has taken flight this weekend. But according to the media reports, scores of pilots and other Southwest employees have coordinated the taking of sick days to use them up in advance of a Southwest airline mandate to get the job or lose the job. It says, but over Saturday and Sunday, more than 2,000 flights have been canceled, with airports experiencing full-on mayhem. And people are mad as hell, man. Okay, civilians that dealt with this, they're mad at people that left the job because they felt like, oh, you're compromising us, we're doing this and that. No, man, the people that's not dealing with it, they got every right not to deal with it, you know? It's just you people, you decided to deal with it because you believe anything that the fucking TV tells you. And that's the problem. It says the Southwest Airlines Pilots Association is suing the airlines over the imposed, you know what, voicing the claim that there is a sick out underway among angry Southwest pilots. Man, this thing is falling apart, brothers. This is getting bad. It's falling apart, man. And this is a lot of shit that the news is not telling you. But this shit is getting ready to fall apart on all levels. So we ain't got that much time left. Okay, so this is not the time to be getting lukewarm, man. Getting weak and getting tired. If you getting lukewarm and you getting tired, man, you need to step your game up. You know what I'm saying? You need to step your game up and you need to step it up quick. Okay, because hey, we in a time now, it's crunch time. You can't be worried about all this other shit. We in crunch time now. Okay? And it says here, but the mainstream media is doing its best to keep a lid on expanding rebellion. Of course they are, because they don't want people to know they're full of it against the you know what. And Southwest Airlines itself is blaming the cancellations on bad weather and a lack of traffic controller. But however, the weather problems that Southwest claims to be experiencing seem to unique to that carrier. No other airline thus far is reporting such weather-related cancellations. All right, so basically, man, they're losing, man. America is getting ready to be destroyed, man. It is done. Okay, Babylon is getting ready to fall, brothers. All right, so real quick, this is the book of 2 Ezra 15. And I'm going to start at verses 14. It says, woe to them in the world that dwell. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. It says here, for their sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people should stand up and fight against another with swords in their hand. That's a civil division, man. Okay? You're going to have people that's divided over this, like Yahushua said. You ready? Yahushua said that you're going to have 2 against 3, 3 against 2. You see what I'm saying? So that's the whole situation right now, man. Hold on. You ready? You good? Okay. You know, Salakia, man, it's my co-worker. But anyway, going back to how Shai said it, man. He said you're gonna have a division among the families, 3 against 2, 2 against 3. Okay, meaning you're gonna have people that's with this, people that's not with it, people that's like, come on, man, you gotta do it. A lot of people are getting ready to start going at each other, man. Okay, especially in these red states. Oh man, they get ready to set it on fire because of what we just read about the U.S. military. The U.S. military, they said, look, man, we ain't with it. We ain't with it. So what happens when they not with it? They gonna have to bring in some type of foreign opposition to that. And the last thing people really want is for them to deploy them blue hats out here, which that's gonna happen. Okay, and your only line of defense here, if you're not in this truth, is gonna be these personal malicious people gonna set up, which is gonna be ex-firefighters, ex-cops, ex-military men, okay, regular civilians. These are gonna be the ones that's gonna basically defend this country from the tyranny, so to speak. That's gonna be your patriotic people. Okay, so they've already said it, the division is coming. So that would be your only defense in this society, is to band up with them people. But even then, it's gonna get bad among them, because when the food is scarce, then those people gonna start turning on each other. Lord, man, this shit is gonna get crazy, bro. All right, and it says here, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their own power. I mean, they're not gonna give a damn about any particular government order. They're not gonna care about no fucking press conference. They're not gonna care about no congressman. They're not gonna care about any what you call these assholes, politicians. They're not gonna give a shit about none of that, man. They ain't gonna care about what some goddamn mountain. They not thinking about what Dr. F got to say, man. Okay, they gonna they're ready to lynch him, man. They get ready to lynch dude. So yeah, and it says their man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, but because of pride, and all this shit is done out of pride. People are angry because their pride is broken, because they can't live the life they once lived. And then you got the people that dealt with it. They're going to be too prideful because they're going to feel like the people is stealing away their chance to get back to some form of normalcy. So it's all about pride, and the military is going to be brought in because Esau wants to flex his muscles. So all in all, it's going to be a division among all these people, you know. And if you another nation, man, you'd be smart to just get the hell out of here. But it says here, and houses shall be destroyed, and men should be afraid, and a man should have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation, which is great trouble, okay? Great trouble is coming to Babylon the Great as we speak, due to this divide down the middle, divide and conquer, so to speak. And it was all planned that way anyway, man. All right. So what's the second address? Second address. The whole chapter is good. Well, let's start at second address 5, and I'm gonna start at verses 1. It says, nevertheless, as the coming tokens, behold, the day shall come that day which dwelled upon the earth should be taken in great number, and the way of truth should be hidden, and land should be barren of faith. That's right, because as it tells you in Isaiah the 19th chapter, people are gonna start focusing on their different forms of seances to get answers as to the future outcome to what's happening in the world. But yet those powers to be is going to leave them. And it says here, they should be taken in great number, and the way of truth should be hidden, because it's going to be a famine of the word. It says, in the land it should be barren of faith, but iniquity should be increased above all that which is now, or that thou hast heard long ago. Okay, and this is iniquity, man. Look at this. So it says here, over the past few weeks, it says thousands of nurses, medical workers, and first responders have either quit or been fired. It says for something they don't want or need. It says the nursing shortage, the Democrat politicians and the mainstream media has been blaming a rising joint on the reality of a man-made disaster of historic proportions. It says nursing crisis is not caused by, it says, but cases have been declined in the U.S. for weeks, but it is caused by the firing of medical personnel who refuse to take the you-know-what. But it says the stupidity of adopting a policy of firing healthcare workers while at the same time claiming there's a raging thing gripping the country has not been lost on Americans, right? People are saying if it was a real why the hell are they firing the people they need the most? Common sense, right? But it says President Biden's polling numbers have unsurprisingly been in free fall, with the major Democrat candidate like Virginia's Terry McAuliffe openly complaining that the deeply unpopular Biden is threatening him at the tight race for governor. It says, while Biden administration lackeys like such and such are telling Americans they can't celebrate Christmas again this year, and more of America is finished with the public, what? It says here in Texas, 100,000, Texas A&M fans poured onto football fields on Saturday after the last-minute surprise victory over Alabama. But in Texas and elsewhere, the administration is losing the fear factor. All right, so people was like, enough is enough, man. They like, fuck this shit. Okay, that's why it says, in the land that thou seest now to have roots shall see suddenly waste away. Okay, because America is gonna ultimately be destroyed. What is the other precept here? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Yep, verse 9. It says, and the salt water should be found in a sweet, and all friends should destroy one another. Okay? Tension. It says, then shall wit hide itself, and understanding will draw itself into the secret chamber, going into the famine of the word. People are going to faint for thirst to try to find the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. There's going to be utter chaos on the streets of Babylon. All right? Revelation 19:3 and 2, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay? And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Okay, so anyway, get the point on that, giving all praises and glory, honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. With that, Shalom.